On this episode of Off the Script number 140, part number 2, for your October 22nd, 2016, Backstage plans for Bill Goldberg following the Survivor Series and into 2017. What does WWE have planned for a returning Bill Goldberg? Huge update on the Undertaker's health status as he was recently seen with crutches. The latest on the Undertaker and his recent hip surgery. Also, Adam Rose tweeting very cryptic that he's returning to the WWE. What do they mean? And is Adam Rose coming back to World Wrestling Entertainment? How long is Hideo Itami going to be out? And is Chavo Guerrero Jr. on his way back to the WWE to help boost the Cruiserweight division? All this plus so much more on Off the Script.
JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. Big Show and Ryback, Strowman and Roman. Get off my fucking TV and save me the misery. And all you fucking goons, just grab a cold beer. The man of the hour is finally here. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script.
What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the number one fucking podcast in your subscription boxes right here on YouTube.com. This is Off the Script. A lot of stuff to go over in this episode, guys. If you missed part number 1 where we dissect and we give you the real mindset behind a match that I know everybody wants to see. AJ Styles versus HBK, Shawn Michaels at the Royal Rumble at the Alamo Dome. I know everybody wants to see it, but like JD usually does, I got to keep it real with you guys, man, and I got to give you facts. So if you missed that episode, if you missed part 1 of this weekend show, make sure you guys go and check that out. Follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. And something I forgot to mention, man. My brother Frank, if you guys have been watching me throughout the years, you know when I do a live commentary on Call of Duty, on Battlefield, on Destiny, whatever it may be, man. My brother's music has always been the intro to my videos. And he just recently came out with new t-shirts because he has new music coming out. I mean, he's got a new album coming out, a new EP, I should say. It's not a full-fledged album, but it's 5 songs. 5 songs of unadulterated fucking technical death metal, thrash metal, all right? But on top of that, he covered, if you guys know the death metal band Death, he actually covered a song. I'm not going to tell you which one it is. Man. Death is heralded as one of the best bands in the genre, if not the number 1 death metal band of all time. So if you guys are interested in that, I'm going to leave you his Bandcamp page and his SoundCloud page down below. If you guys want to purchase t-shirts, man, not only are you helping him out, but you're really showing how dedicated you are, not only to him, but to this brand, this channel, this podcast, and whatever I do on here, man, because he is a huge part of creating that vibe in my Call of Duty videos and my live commentary. So I want you guys to go check it out, man. If you like them enough and you want to purchase, please go ahead and do so. I'll leave you all the links and information down in the description below for my brother's band Legionary, man. My brother Frank, he's doing good things, and I can't wait to unleash this music to you guys because I actually heard it without the vocals, and wait till you get the leads and the bass and you hear his fucking drumming better than ever. His lead singer is ready to go. It's going to be unfucking believable. So make sure you guys go and check him out. If you never heard of him before, you can hear previews of anything that he's recorded through those websites down below. So make sure you guys go and check it out. And if you feel like it, support him, man. I would greatly appreciate it as well as him. So I just wanted to get that out there because I had it on my mind. I had it in my notes to mention that in part 1, and I did not. And I apologize for that. But please, if you guys want to go check it out, it's right down there for your pleasure, okay? But we're going to get right into the news, man. We're going to get right into the news, and I hope you guys like the new format. I'm going to give you a little preview before we get into the video. We're going to keep the ads or the self-promotion to part 1 only, and then from here on out in part 2, part 3, and if so, a part 4, they're going to be mentioned again at the end of the video. We're going to get right into the news, guys. We're going to start off with the biggest story for part 2, and that is backstage plans for Bill Goldberg at the Survivor Series and beyond. As it pertains to Bill Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, the WWE is banking on history not repeating itself. I don't think history is going to repeat itself after the way Bill Goldberg carried himself on Monday Night Raw. I believe that things are going to be different. I really think that this time has changed. You know, his son was there. His wife was there. You've seen the emotion when everybody showered Bill Goldberg with love on Monday Night Raw. It's going to be different. It's not going to be what we've seen at WrestleMania 20. WrestleMania 20 featured one of the most criticized matches in sports entertainment history when Goldberg and Lesnar collided inside Madison Square Garden. It should have been one of the biggest fights of all time, but because they were both on their way out of the company, it turned into an embarrassment. A little less than 13 years later, the stars have aligned again in what most people thought was not possible. Goldberg's arrangement with 2K Sports opened the door for a return to the WWE and a rematch with Brock Lesnar, presumably set for the Survivor Series pay-per-view in November in Toronto, Canada. It's a chance to right the wrong the two men created the first time around. Goldberg will follow the likes of the Ultimate Warrior, rest in peace, Lesnar himself, and Sting as those whose signing with WWE 2K video game led to their WWE returns or debuts. And as reported by DailyWrestlingNews.com, the deal to return as an actual in-ring performer was taking shape several weeks ago and was finalized during the first week of October. In essence, Goldberg had come to terms before his appearance on SportsCenter, but did not let the cat out of the bag on ESPN. From the moment the conversations between WWE and Goldberg began, the only opponent both sides had in mind was Brock Lesnar. And leading all the way up to and including his promo this past Monday night, Lesnar was the only opponent Goldberg was going to face in his short return to pro wrestling. And from that moment, those conversations started. The plan, if both sides could agree to a deal, was for Lesnar to win the match. That hasn't changed one bit, nor is it going to change. Lesnar is going in Survivor Series, and he's going to walk out with the W. That's just the way it is, and that's the most common sense booking you can have going into the Survivor Series. So that is not changing at all. If it does, then WWE might have made the biggest fucking mistake of all time. The only thing that could possibly change between now and then is whether or not Goldberg will extend the agreement past that November 20th date. I think they will. I think he will. You know, depending on certain variables, the ratings keep rising when he is on the show, and he has the heart to do it, and he still has that passion to do it. You know, Survivor Series is great. But if WWE offers him a Hall of Fame induction and then a huge blow-off match at WrestleMania 33 in Orlando in front of 70,000 people with his son and wife sitting front row on the biggest stage that wrestling can provide, I think Goldberg would be all for that. I personally see, even though nothing is set in concrete, let's wait till Survivor Series. I'm going to go out on a limb here and state that Bill Goldberg will be back. This is not the only time we will see Goldberg in WWE. He will be at WrestleMania. No question. As heard on Raw on Monday, Goldberg proclaimed that not only is Lesnar next, but most importantly, he is also last. That, of course, is an indication that the match with the Beast Incarnate is one and only, and it's the only one that's on Goldberg's schedule, putting the final bow on his legendary career. However, there had been discussions leading up to Monday with WWE that if Goldberg got over, they would have to try to convince him to stay on for a little while longer. Michael Cole dubbed him the greatest champion in WCW history. Don't know what Michael Cole was smoking, but obviously, he is a complete fucking buffoon. Now, I don't watch WCW. I rarely dove into the WCW product and the annals and the history of WCW, but I don't know, man. I'm going to go out on a limb and state, I don't know, Vader, Ric Flair, Sting. Come on, bro. Seriously, Goldberg, the greatest WCW champion in history. Give me a fucking break. I mean, I understand WWE wants to sell a pay-per-view and they want to hype up this great moment, but don't sound like a fucking goon while doing so. I mean, you completely disrespected. You know, I mean, just think about it. If you're Sting and you're Ric Flair sitting at home and you're watching Monday Night Raw and you're looking at Goldberg and you hear Michael Cole say something so idiotic, and you're one of those people who held the WCW championship. I mean, what's going through your mind? You're probably thinking the same thing that I'm saying right now. This guy is a fucking asshole. This guy's a fucking goon. How could you say something so fucking stupid? You know? But that's what they said, and that's what they do. They try and hype it up, and they try and, make the moment the biggest ever and the greatest ever, but they make themselves look like fucking idiots in the end. You know? At least keep with the fucking... The logic of most people. Goldberg is not the greatest WCW champion of all time. He's not. You know, he was a huge part of their success, and he was pretty much the answer to what WWE was doing with Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, bald, big guy, black trunks, right? So they did what they did, and, you know, they booked him perfectly. It was one of those fucking, you know, catching lightning in a bottle type of deals, you know? Goldberg, he was never a professional wrestler. And he came in green as fuck, obviously, week after week after week for 180 wins. This guy was untouchable. And they booked him correctly. They did what they had to do with Goldberg. But calling him the greatest champion of all time, that's pushing it just a little bit too much, Michael Cole. And I know he was probably fed that line through the microphone or through the headset. But, I mean, you can't be so stupid to say something like that. And it was more clear than ever that Goldberg could get over even after 12 years since his last match. Whether WWE officials were unsure of the reception he'd received going in is unclear, but if the goal was to lure him into more than just one match based on the initial reaction, then it might be safe to assume that they're working on capitalizing on the attention they've received since Monday, which it's a lot of attention, and the ratings proved it, but again, we stated this already on part 1. WWE is putting a Band-Aid on a wound that will not stop bleeding. Monday Night Raw is a wound. A very, very bad wound that will not stop bleeding. Goldberg is that little Band-Aid that's prolonging the bleeding for now. You know? They went from a 2.4, 2.5 to a 3.1. You know, in back-to-back weeks. You're not going to have Goldberg on the show every fucking week. And you're not going to go out and get, you know, older talent, attitude era talent, you know, to fill your shows and create that type of buzz. And it sucks because Goldberg, I'm happy to see him back, and I loved the moment, and I loved how genuine he was. But it also speaks to everybody with a fucking brain that WWE cannot draw with who they have on the roster right now. And I love a Sami Zayn, and I love a Finn Balor, and I love a Kevin Owens, and guys like that. And I want to see them build from within and create their own stars. But WWE has no trust. They have no trust in anybody on that roster at all to sell anything, to boost any ratings. And they feel like they have to do this time and time and time again. Go get a Goldberg. Go and get a Rock. Reach out to Shawn Michaels to fight AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble. We went over this for 20 minutes in part 1. You know? What does that say to your talent on Smackdown? It means, listen, you're not good enough. You're not a big enough star. So we have to go get someone who's fucking close to 50 years old to come back and put on one of the greatest matches you'll probably ever fucking see in your lifetime against AJ Styles. Because you're not good enough. But that's not the wrestler's fault. That's not the superstar's fault. That's WWE's fault. They're the ones who fucked up and have fucked up for years. This is not an overnight thing. This is damage done over years, man. The lack of building talent. The lack of putting trust and putting faith and putting the talent out there. Meanwhile, they're booking themselves fucking stupid every fucking single week. And they're not getting new talent over. We got fucking James Ellsworth. No matter how genuine he might be and how nice of a guy he is, he shouldn't be on my television. You know? They want to do that type of thing. They want to give me the Spirit Squad and Bray Wyatt's fucking god-awful losing streak in WWE since he's been on the main roster. You know? And look at what they're doing with the tag team division and the women's division on Raw and the lack of main event talent on Monday Night Raw. The company's in shambles. And it's not just this year. It's, like I said, damage over years. They've refused to put any faith in any of their talent. The only people that they've legit built up currently that's on the roster is Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. That's it. That's it. Owens is great, but WWE does not have the faith in Kevin Owens at all. And you can see that because he's not being portrayed as the number one man on that brand. Roman Reigns is still being portrayed as the United States champion. He's not even holding the number one championship on that brand, and he's being portrayed as the number one guy. That goes to show you the lack of faith in Kevin Owens. Now, would that be the same with Finn Balor? I don't know. Finn Balor was here and then gone just as quick before we can even breathe. But before that, and you guys made mention of it on Twitter, and I made mention of it, and I made mention of this again because there was a picture going around with AJ Styles and Shawn Michaels photographed with the Texas background and Royal Rumble 2017. And I told you guys the reason why they're doing this is because they don't have any faith in their current stars. And they have to go out and get Shawn Michaels out of retirement to fill 70,000 people in the Alamo Dome. But what does that say about your talent? What does that say about your roster? It's going back to what I just said. They don't have faith in anybody on that SmackDown roster to go in there and sell 70,000 seats against AJ Styles. How many times can we see John Cena? It's been done already. And people don't want to see that. People don't want to see that again. They want to make sure their money is going to something that's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime deal. That is a once-in-a-lifetime deal. I am not against the match. I am actually all for it. But there's a lot of negative that comes with that as well. Because it's not all positive. No matter how great and epic the match will be, if it does happen, there's a lot of negative with that. And before that, it was the Daniel Bryan and the CM Punk. And I made mention, on top of the Reigns, the Ambrose, and the Rollins, it was Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. And some of you guys actually made mention, well, JD, that might be true, but Bryan and Punk made a name for themselves when WWE did not want anything to do with them in that top spot. That may very well be true. But Punk was working for WWE. They have all the power in their hand to say, you know what? I don't give a fuck what the fans are thinking or saying or cheering or wanting. They could have pulled the plug on CM Punk before anybody knew it. They allowed CM Punk to go out there and build his brand and his reputation and get over. So, no matter how many people want to say, oh, well, CM Punk got himself over. Yeah, he got himself over because that's how fucking talented he is and how great he is. And he shoved it right up WWE's ass for not using him before that. But WWE, you guys can't forget this, WWE gave him the platform to be CM Punk. If WWE did not give him the platform to be CM Punk, there would be no CM Punk. Daniel Bryan, the same thing. WWE, for months, ignored everybody's cries about Daniel Bryan. Everybody's cries. They let Daniel Bryan go out there and get those reactions. If they did not want Daniel Bryan to get those reactions, they would have pulled him off television. But everybody collectively said, fuck you and your political agenda. Get this guy on my television. WWE gave Daniel Bryan the platform to be Daniel Bryan. They gave him the platform to build and create the Yes Movement. And all it did to finally push that fucking agenda in the face of everybody, CM Punk left. They had no other choice. And that was that. That was that. Daniel Bryan's history was written. WrestleMania, won the title. One of the greatest moments that we will ever see at WrestleMania. Great storyline. That's when we were all invested in that, man. But ever since those two guys who are no longer there, Brian's there as a GM. He's not an active wrestler anymore. Punk is done with UFC. Hopefully he comes back. You know, that's going to be another thing that's going to give this company a shot of fucking adrenaline momentum. Guys like Punk, man. Guys who are real. You know, those are the people we want to see on our television. But it goes to show you how WWE's faith in their current roster is pretty much non-existent. You know, if you got to go out and get a Goldberg to boost ratings. And I said this already. I want you guys to pay attention to the ratings when Goldberg is not there. When Goldberg and the hype for Goldberg coming back after 12 years is not there, yeah, it might be a 3.1, 3.2. But when Goldberg is not there, it's going to go right back to 2.2, 2.3. And the roster and their agenda is going to be painfully exposed. And that's what I'm going to be looking for. What the ratings are going to be after all of this is over. You know? So we'll see what happens. Goldberg, he will be at WrestleMania. And I think that's the best thing for both parties, to be honest with you. You know? And a lot of the Raw ratings go to Goldberg himself. If he were to agree on Wrestling Beyond Survivor Series, WWE officials are hopeful that a second match would happen at WrestleMania 33. We already know that the company has several marquee matches already penciled, not pencil, in for 2017, including Brock Lesnar versus Shane McMahon being rumored, John Cena taking on The Undertaker, rumored, Triple H colliding with Seth Rollins, rumored. Where Goldberg fits into this, nobody knows, but you can rest assured that they would find a suitable slot and opponent for Bill Goldberg. That talk may be entirely too premature, less than 6 months out, but WWE officials are planning for both outcomes. They've recently invested quite a bit of resources into making the Royal Rumble a monumental event as well, so booking that show may also have a trickle-down effect onto what they end up doing in Orlando for WrestleMania. Goldberg will be there, but the main thing here is what I've been discussing now and in part one with this AJ Styles Shawn Michaels story. WWE has no faith in their current guys to garner ratings, get attention, and get this company and this product and this brand where it needs to be. They just don't care about the current guy. They always are going to dip into the fucking cookie jar and pull out a Rock and a Goldberg and try and get a Michaels and an Austin. And when Punk is available and ready to come back, because you know we will, they're going to dip into that bag as well. But that's something I'm fucking dying to see, just like everybody else. But we will talk about that when we cross that bridge. Goldberg, he will be at Mania. It's just a stupid move on WWE's behalf and Goldberg's behalf if he's not there. WrestleMania, Goldberg, retirement, his son, his wife, grandest stage of them all, even more of a payday. It's just a good business move. Goldberg will be at WrestleMania. News on Adam Rose here, teasing a WWE return. Adam Rose, Ray Lapon, is a performer who could have been so much more in WWE, and that is a huge fucking understatement. He demonstrated a rare ability that few wrestlers have in WWE, the ability to play multiple characters. Leo Kruger was an interesting concept for a character, but was abandoned for the Adam Rose character, one which failed to make a successful transition from NXT to the main roster. Reason why it failed is because they pulled him from NXT too fast. They put him on the main roster too fast, and nobody understood the gimmick. And then when he reached Monday Night Raw, they pretty much considered him dead in the water after week 1. So why pull him from NXT and then leave him to fucking flounder? Then he's a social outcast, and then he's fired, and, a bunch of trouble followed him around. Ray Lapon should have never left NXT, period. He should have never left NXT. He should have had at least a run at the NXT Championship with that gimmick because it was over. That's an NXT gimmick. And it didn't have enough time to flourish at all. And if WWE really wanted Ray Lapon on their payroll, if they wanted him on the main roster, you got the Wyatt family. Leo Kruger could have came back and he could have been a huge addition to the Wyatt family. Huge addition. But WWE didn't know what to do with this guy and in turn fucked him over. They fucked Ray Lapon over. Lapon never got to show his true talent on WWE television. Shortly after WrestleMania 32, Lapon's WWE career imploded. He was suspended due to some major personal issues. However, there may be a second chance for him in the future with a WWE return as a possibility. According to a report from Sportskeeda.com, Adam Rose is teasing a WWE return via Twitter. If this is true, he'd be back much sooner than anyone expected because most people assumed he would never be back in the WWE again. A second chance doesn't come around very often for a non-elite talent like Ray Lapon, but there could be a limited run for him in WWE again, which could give him another chance to reach his true potential. If these tweets are to be taken seriously, he hashtagged WWE, he hashtagged, the party is coming, or whatever he said, Adam Rose, and he had a picture of him dressed in the Adam Rose getup. If Adam Rose is coming back to the WWE, if Ray Lapon is coming back to the WWE as Adam Rose, either NXT to bolster that roster and put him back where he belongs and have that gimmick flourish, and don't dummy it down. Whatever he had in mind with that gimmick, let him run with it in NXT, man. If it's risque, let him do it. Let him go with it. If you want to put him on the main roster, put him on SmackDown as Leo Kruger. It's either one or the other. And I think Leo Kruger will get over on SmackDown and aligned with the Wyatt family. I think that would be a great role for him. He's a great wrestler. He's got the attitude. He's got the in-ring skill. He's got the personality. Either way, those are the two best options for him. Anything but Monday Night Raw. You do not want to go to Monday Night Raw. If Adam Rose is on Monday Night Raw, it's going to be the same thing just like before he got suspended and then ultimately terminated. Adam Rose needs to be on NXT or SmackDown, and that's the only way to go about that. Former WWE superstar Chavo Guerrero Jr., who is now currently with Lucha Underground and embroiled in a feud with Rey Mysterio, he could be returning to help with Raw's Cruiserweight division. Raw's Cruiserweight division isn't picking up any steam, and that's a sad shame. But again, do you want to know why they're not picking up any steam? It's because they're on Monday Night Raw, and we get them for 3 minutes here and 3 minutes there. How can we understand what these guys are doing coming out of the Cruiserweight Classic if you're going to do what everybody feared? 3 minutes on Raw. These guys are supposed to bring excitement to Monday Night Raw. How much excitement can you generate in 3 fucking minutes when these guys were in 15 to 20 minute epic battles in the Cruiserweight Classic? Why are we not getting that portrayal of the Cruiserweights? Because Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn and Stephanie McMahon, they don't give a fuck. They want to brag that the Cruiserweights are on Monday Night Raw, and then they don't do anything to help their cause at all. So it's not picking up steam because they're on Monday Night Raw. If this was on SmackDown, then it would be a completely different story. The wrestling doesn't feel the same, but that's not necessarily anybody's fault. Yes, it is. It could be the Raw setting or the booking from WWE officials. Yes, and yes to both. Regardless, it seems that WWE is trying to fix the problem to avoid having to scrap the division that had so much promise. Why would you scrap it? Just move it over to SmackDown because it doesn't belong on Monday Night Raw. For months and years and fucking all this time, years and years and years, you've portrayed Monday Night Raw to be nothing but a fucking dummy down version of what it really used to be. Monday Night Raw. There's nothing raw about Monday nights in WWE. If this was the Attitude Era, we'd be seeing these guys fucking jump all over the place, fucking giving us 15-minute epic classics with Jim Ross fucking going crazy right behind Jerry the King Lawler. What happened here? Why would you even think about scrapping the division? Because you don't know how to handle wrestling. You considered Monday Night Raw the entertainment brand. It's all about cracking cheesy jokes and silly skits. Wrestling is dead last on the list of priorities for Monday Night Raw. And that's the God honest truth. There's nothing raw about Monday Night Raw. How can it be raw if wrestling is dead last on your list? In fact, Jericho's list, Monday Night Raw should be at the top of his list because it's so fucking terrible. They've eliminated the weight limit. Don't know why. And the division, being that they did that, could be bringing in some former WWE superstars to bring in star power. According to a report, take this with a grain of salt with these fucking clowns, 434.com, WWE is interested in bringing back Chavo Guerrero to help bring some much-needed star power to Raw's Cruiserweight division. I don't know about you, but I don't even like Chavo Guerrero on fucking Lucha Underground. I think he's a tired, stale, boring act, to be quite honest with you. And I don't know if that's the proper star power you need for the Cruiserweight division. If you guys want star power for your Cruiserweight division, build from within. You got Neville doing nothing, right? You got a Sami Zayn. Those are the guys you got to be using. Not a fucking Chavo Guerrero. And correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Chavo Guerrero suing the WWE or part of that list of wrestlers who's suing the WWE for fucking damages and fucking recklessness and concussions? Because I could have swore his name was on the list. But they want to bring him in. The hope is that if WWE can bring him back to the company, that he'd be able to bring a lot more attention to the division and put over others in great matches. We can have great matches. Why don't you put over the fucking talent you got with the talent that you got and give me great matches with the talent that you got? Wow, such a far-fetched idea, Vince. Unbelievable. If you put these guys out there for 15 fucking minutes and you recreate what they did at the Cruiserweight Classic, people will buy into it. I don't give a fuck if you got Farmer Bill, fucking Jack and Jill went up the hill in the fucking crowd. It doesn't fucking matter who's sitting there. Wrestling is wrestling. And people should appreciate talent and athleticism. You can have the fucking dumbest idiot sitting in the crowd. He'll know a good wrestling match when he sees it. These guys need to go out there and wrestle. It is your job to fucking give them storylines and at least a little bit of character. That's all. Let them do the rest. That's how you build the Cruiserweight division. The best thing about Chavo is he's able to pull off both a heel and face run if he were to return. He'd probably be better served as a heel in the division to help others and get them over the way that they should be. But additions like Chavo Guerrero are only going to bring good things to Raw's Cruiserweight division that could use a boost. Listen, it's on Raw. It was doomed to fail before the fucking announcement was even made. As soon as we seen that announcement, fucking warning signs went all over the place from everybody, all over the world. It's because it's on Raw. And Raw right now is a dead product. And everything associated with Raw is dead. That's it. That's the cold, hard truth. The Cruiserweight division seems dead. The fucking company seems dead. Everything on Monday Night Raw seems dead because the product, the show, the brand Raw is dead. It is awful fucking television. This is not what I want out of a wrestling show. But they don't realize that. And they're booking like, we're not doing nothing wrong. Whoever's in charge there needs to fucking be removed. And people need to be put in place that actually give a fuck about what's going on. That's all that needs to be done. Hideo Itami. How long is he going to be out? This could have been a lot worse. And I'm glad to see this report about Hideo Itami. He injured his neck. Everybody thought he could be out several months. Thankfully, a new report from Dave Meltzer says that Itami will be around back in the company in 2 months. And he should not need surgery. This is on the lower end of the spectrum for recovery time. Itami has been plagued by injuries since his debut in NXT, as he only recently came back from missing over a year due to shoulder injuries. He was scheduled to team with Kota Ibushi in the Dusty Rhodes Memorial Tag Team Classic, but had to be replaced by T.J. Perkins. Itami was also in the early stages of a feud with Austin Aries, though they never had their first match. While it's an obvious statement, this is only good news for NXT. Itami seems to be cursed with these injuries, but NXT TV is already taped for the next month, so Itami is only going to miss another taping or so. When he comes back, he can pick things up with Aries, and Aries can be in the tournament instead of starting a new singles feud. This is really one of the best case scenarios for Itami's injuries. Good job. You know, I'm glad he's going to be back relatively soon, a couple of months. That video that we seen on Twitter with Riddick Moss and Tino Sabatelli, he was in a tag team, or they were teaming together, and Itami, I believe, was teaming with Shinsuke Nakamura. And that video was scary as fuck, man. The way he landed, everybody initially thought, oh my god, this guy's going to be fucking crippled. So I'm glad to know that it's only 2 months. He vowed to be on tour with NXT when they tour Osaka, Japan. Looks like he will be there, and hopefully he will be in the ring, giving those fans over there exactly what they want to see. Hideo Itami in the ring, man. So that's good news, not only for him, but for NXT, because they could use all the talent they have to bolster that brand. Undertaker. Let's talk about the Undertaker. This small story here. Everybody's wondering about the Undertaker's health status. Pictured with crutches. He was at Starbucks ordering a fucking Venti Mocha. I don't know what the fuck this guy was doing, but people were looking at this photograph with him and a barista, And they noticed that the barista herself in the picture was wearing a brace on her fucking foot. Everybody thought, oh, well, that's not The Undertaker's crutches. That's this barista's crutches, and he was just playing around. But The Undertaker recently had hip surgery. So they were indeed meant for The Undertaker. Although several names have been rumored to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania every single year, this year offered some of the most interesting matchups we've ever seen. Finn Balor would be a great feud to put over on the greatest stage of them all. The WWE Universe has been begging to see Sting versus The Undertaker for many years, and Sting actually said that he's putting off surgery because he still has hopes that one day it will happen. John Cena still remains the most likely candidate, but recently, something has come to light. It's been reported that The Undertaker would be returning to WWE programming for the Royal Rumble, being that he's a Texas native. It's in San Antonio, Texas. It goes hand in hand, which will be held in the Alamo Dome, as you guys know, for the first time in 20 years. The odds of The Undertaker making his return to WWE at that event were extremely high. The belief is that he'd be feuding with the current WWE Universal Champion Kevin Owens for WrestleMania 33 in Orlando. That was the last rumor that was going around. While all those are possibilities, and they are good possibilities, or even great choices for what they could be, or what could be The Undertaker's retirement match, some recent health updates on him have threatened his status for WrestleMania 33 entirely. In fact, WWE may have made the choice for him. Recently, Undertaker was seen in some new photos using crutches, which has the WWE Universe collectively asking why. For better or worse, the WWE fans have their answer. According to a new report that was just released, Undertaker recently underwent hip surgery, which is the reason why he's been using crutches. They seem to be more for support than a necessity because he's been walking normally, or seen walking normally. But taking a stroll on a Sunday night and wrestling in front of 70,000 fucking people are two completely different things. The fact is, Undertaker may not be ready for WrestleMania. On paper, his kind of surgery takes between 3 to 6 months of recovery time. Nobody knows when The Undertaker had hip surgery. Undertaker could have had hip surgery fucking 3 months ago. You know? So, I believe he will be at WrestleMania. Unless there's some fucking huge update on WWE.com about The Undertaker and his status, he will be at WrestleMania. He will be at WrestleMania. So, if The Undertaker just got surgery, so if 6 months is the maximum amount of time, barring any complications, he'd miss WrestleMania by only a few weeks. Of course, all this remains unconfirmed because nobody knows exactly when he got surgery. The jury is still out on when or even if The Undertaker returns to WWE programming before his health even got in the way of his return. The rumors were claiming that he wasn't on the best of terms with Vince McMahon anyway. WWE fans are going to have to wait a little while longer, but a lot of people need to begin getting used to the idea that we might have seen the last of The Undertaker, or at least we're about to very soon. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Leave The Undertaker out of your fucking mouth. Let the guy get better. And if he comes back, he comes back. But as far as I know, Undertaker's going to be at WrestleMania. I would bet that The Undertaker's going to be at WrestleMania more so than not going to be at WrestleMania. That's just the way everybody's thinking. But, you know, people like to talk and people like to assume. It's that time of year, man. October, November, December. As soon as we get to January, all you're going to hear is Undertaker. Undertaker, who's he going to fight? What's he doing? How's he feeling? What's he looking like? You know, whatever. Undertaker's going to be at WrestleMania. That's my opinion on the matter. And hopefully this is the last we will hear of The Undertaker, at least until we get to the Royal Rumble. That is everything, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you're thinking down below. Pretty much of everything that we talked about here. And I will be back on part 3. You guys know the deal, man. Down below, if you missed any one of my videos, if you missed Off The Script, if you missed my career, everything you need is down below in the description. Make sure you guys go and check that out and support everything that I do. I would greatly appreciate it. YouTube's fucked up a lot lately. You know, subs are cut in half, views are cut in half, likes, comments are cut in half. Nothing is working right now, and it's being felt all over the community, man. Everybody that I'm sub to, from the biggest of channels to the small guy, everybody is feeling affected, man. A lot of people are struggling right now because YouTube is just undergoing changes, and they're not letting their partners know. So if you guys, you know, want to support, obviously, everything you need, and everything that I'm sure you missed is down below in the description. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not subscribed already. Off the Script every weekend. WWE News and Rumors, WWE 2K17, WWE content in general. Going to be here every single day, man. Daily uploads for you guys. Make sure you guys are subscribed. If you guys want to support the podcast, man, patreon.com/JD from NY206. Please go ahead and support. Thank you to everybody that's pledged this week. Always, man, always new faces pledging. So make sure you guys do that if you do want to support the show. And also, if you don't want to do that, if it's too much for you, go and buy a t-shirt, man. Barbershopwindow.com/JD from NY206 or Off the Script, I should say. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Barbershop Window, all you got to do is go to the home screen, search bar, Off the Script, take you right to my online shop. We are an official partner with Barbershop Window, which is an affiliate of Pro Wrestling Tees. If you guys want your WWE Slam Crate, you guys are fucking kicking ass with that. Tweet me, man. Use the coupon code JD from NY by using the link that I gave you to my own homepage for Loot Crate, Slam Crate down below, and use that coupon code at checkout for an instant 10% off. And if you do so, man, if you guys want to buy some Loot Crate for yourself or a friend or a family member who loves WWE, tweet me and I'll retweet you guys. So make sure you guys check that out as well. Or if you don't want Loot Crate, I got Wrestle Crate, man. WrestleCrate.com and on Twitter at WrestleCrates. Use the coupon code over there, JD sent me, for an instant 10% off. And that's all I got, guys. Thank you so much for everything. Off the Script is in the bag for Saturday. I will see you guys on Sunday with more great news and rumors right here on Off the Script. Might be a little bit later upload, depending on how I feel, but it will be in your sub boxes, hopefully, on Sunday. So make sure you guys look out for that. I'm JD. Thank you so much. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on Sunday.